thing. Magic's not the kind of guy that's going to create constant controversy. If you watch his Twitter feed, he's not a wildly crazy out there guy. His Twitter feeds become kind of everybody kind of laughs about it because
Steph can shoot.
it's kind of generic. And Magic's a good guy, and he's not trying to bury people. I didn't think he'd go on TV today and bury Lonzo and bury LeBron and Jeannie but he went after Rob Pelinka, who looks like Rob Lowe. And he basically said, people around the Laker front office were telling me Rob was saying things, and I didn't like those things being said behind my back, that I wasn't in the office enough. So I started getting calls from, my friends saying those things now were said to them outside of basketball. And let's start, Chris Broussard, with that. Were you surprised he went directly after Rob Pelinka, who now, according to Joy's story this morning, runs the Lakers?
Yeah, well, this is what we were hearing. All the scuttlebutt around the league was that he had issues with Pelinka. I mean, for months you've been hearing that he was just going up to people like, knowing Magic's not in office. Hey, where's Magic? You see Magic? Just to highlight the fact that he's not there, never around. So you were hearing all these things. I give Magic props for coming out publicly and confirming it and just getting things out in the open because you stop all the speculation when you're open and honest. And obviously the Lakers haven't said a word about anything else. Here's the problem, though. I thought Magic was supposed to be helping the Lakers recruit. Like, players are more sophisticated nowadays.
Oh, yeah.
Players are looking at front offices and saying, I'm telling you, and I do think the Knicks still get players. They're going to get players this summer. But players are looking at James Dolan and saying, yeah, I like Scott Perry, the GM, and Steve Mills is there, and Fizdale, but they're looking at the hierarchy and saying, can I trust that organization? And with the players doing it, you know who else is doing it? Their agents. Agents are telling the players, giving them the rundown of each situation. And a lot of these agents had issues with Rob Pelinka, in addition to other people in the league. And so now Magic comes out and gives even more ammunition.
Confirms.
Right. So
if a guy would badmouth Magic, who else would he badmouth?
Yeah, it's another obstacle the Lakers may have to overcome.
What I feel like, and I respect Magic for this. Magic's got a brand, and Magic's brand is he's a helper. He was a passer as a player. He's a passer as a person. He's human LinkedIn. He's always trying to elevate. And Magic is offended if you come to Los Angeles, even if you're a Clipper or a Dodger, and you don't come to him and say, hey, man,
right, can
I do some business in this town? Like, Magic loves elevating people. He really does.
He's one of the greatest people you'll ever meet.
I've been in a room 4 or 5 times with Magic. He lights it up. I mean, he just takes the oxygen out of the room. Charles Barkley has that ability, right? Whereas Shaq's bigger and doesn't have quite that ability. Kobe didn't have that ability. So I think what Magic's doing here, and I'm okay with it. Magic's saying, hey, I'm going to protect my brand. You're making me look incompetent.
Right.
I'm a businessman here. You're not going to make me look like I'm a fool.
That's a great point, because watching that interview did make me say, you know what? Magic was doing the right thing. He had told Jeannie, you understand, I got a lot of other things going on. Don't expect me to be in the office all the time. Okay, so you don't take that away from him. And then Tim Harris is helping make basketball decisions. You're right. I came away thinking, you know what? Magic wasn't the problem there. They got a lot of other issues, as we've seen. And even now, they're not going to hire a replacement for Magic. That's fine. It was clear Rob Pelinka was going to head your basketball operations. But can you be professional and give them the proper titles? Make Pelinka the president, the executive vice president, basketball operations, whatever you want to call it, and make Kurt Rambis the general manager or something number 2. Right now, you have no titles for these. Kurt Rambis is a special advisor. What does that mean? Linda Rambis is the special projects coordinator or something like that. It makes it look like you don't understand the importance of infrastructure and structure, and that is something that free agents are going to look like. Believe me, one of the selling points for the Clippers in free agency is the structure of their front office and how well it's run, and that is going to hurt the Lakers if they don't get this thing straightened out.
So now I want to address Anthony Davis. Joy doesn't believe it'll happen. I've argued I don't think he's the best fit. I'd take Bradley Beal in a second. I think LeBron works with shooters. I don't think LeBron necessarily always works with bigs. I think the world's changing. And Anthony Davis, he may knock down a 3 or 2 occasionally, but I don't think that in this current NBA, teams are getting smaller, not larger, right? And so, the Gail Benson, she won't do a deal with the Lakers. She denies it. This morning, Chris Broussard, where are we at on this? What are your sources telling you?
As far as New Orleans, like you said earlier, the Lakers are going to have to win the deal. Okay, and that not only comes from Gail Benson, but from David Griffin. If he had his druthers, he'd get a better deal elsewhere and send Anthony Davis to the East.
Don't blame him at all.
Now, Alvin Gentry likes the Lakers players. And Alvin Gentry and Griff have a great relationship. Griff almost hired him in Cleveland. He likes Lonzo Ball. You know how Alvin likes to play, up and down, running.
Yeah.
He loves the idea of Lonzo Ball, Drew Holiday, Zion Williamson, Kyle Kuzma, and Brandon Ingram. Offensively and defensively. I mean, those are some good defensive players. So that is something in here as well, how much of a sway Gentry can have. Then Brooklyn is going as hard after Anthony Davis as anybody.
Brooklyn?
Yeah, a package of like D'Angelo Russell, Jared Allen, who's a nice piece, shot blocker, athletic at the rim, nice for this day and age in basketball. They got the 17th and 27th pick. Now, Brooklyn, their dream is to pair AD with Kyrie. They really only want to try to get AD if they got Kyrie because that'll help them keep AD. So if they can get Kyrie to agree, I'll go to Brooklyn. If you get AD, then Brooklyn makes that type of offer for Anthony Davis, and they try to pair those two. Kyrie grew up a Nets fan. He grew up in Jersey. He grew up a Nets fan. And the selling point to Kyrie, and one thing I'm told he's looking at, is you don't have to deal with the media as much in Brooklyn as you do with the Knicks.
No, it's Mets to the Yankees, it's Clippers to the Lakers.
Right, but nationally, the gap between the Knicks and Nets isn't nearly as wide as it is in New York.
Well, not if they land Kyrie and Anthony Davis.
Right. Around the country, people could be like, oh, I could get behind Brooklyn more so than the Knicks.
Yeah.
But in New York, the Knicks are king, and nothing will change that. But so Brooklyn's trying to make some noise in this. They also, look, Kevin Durant, they're on his radar. Let's just put it that way. So now, let me throw this in, too, with the Durant thing. I'm told he's already recruiting players. I know you said this too. I'm told the same thing. He's already recruiting players to New York.
No, I was told this last week. In fact, I was listening to a rival show to ours. And they, how can I say this diplomatically, were not scoffing at my report, but they almost like, well, I mean, this is another fringe report. We are not fringe.
No.
I was told by a current NBA player, and I've been told by a former all-star, high-level player who lives in Los Angeles, KD's done. Now, again, I think we both believe he can be swayed.
Well, here's the thing, Colin. If you and I are hearing these things, don't tell me the Warriors players aren't hearing them. If we're hearing from players, KD's recruiting other guys to go to New York, you don't think the Draymond and Steph and Clay are hearing this? Now, they're being very classy and professional when they go out and say, we need KD. I think they're even going overboard when Clay says to win a championship, we need KD. Now, I would just say, he's our best player. Of course we need him.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say we need him to win a championship because I don't think they do. And I don't think they do. And so, but they're being very classy going out,
Yeah.
And so if that's true, but inside, they're thinking, look, we're going to show the world and KD that we can win it without him.
Chris Broussard, great seeing you, buddy. Colin right, Colin wrong. And